Okay, so you've created an excellent pitch to explain what your game is all about, and you have pitched it to your players. Sometimes that is all you need to do. If you're running a convention game or a one-shot for some friends, you write your pitch, you send it over, and whoever wants to join in, joins in. However, the process can look a little bit different for campaigns. Because a campaign is an ongoing commitment, you want to make sure that your players know what they're getting into when they join. It's important to give them the chance to ask questions, voice concerns, and be heard. After the pitch, note the response of your players. Are they excited at the prospect of this new campaign? Are they already thinking up new characters? Are they curious about the setting? Or maybe they're a bit nervous about the suggested themes. Listen to their comments. This discussion is an excellent opportunity to see what excites your players, like we discussed in Chapter 1. And you may also find things they dislike or don't enjoy. When pitching a murder mystery game, for example, some players might want to make sure there isn't too much gore or horror. When running a game about a rebellion in a futuristic sci-fi colony, some players might be reluctant to deal with issues of xenophobia or racism or other sensitive content. Maybe some players really like the pitch, but would prefer a fantasy settings rather than a sci-fi one. These are all legitimate concerns. Listening to our players' feedback allows us to discover if these players and our games are a good match. In these discussions, the Game Masters typically has the final say on the content of the game. But this power should be wielded with caution. Playing with unhappy players is not fun for anyone. However, remember that your enjoyment as a Game Master is just as important as the enjoyment of the players in the game. In Lesson 1, we discussed identifying what parts of your pitch are flexible and inflexible. If your players' preferences means compromising on something important to you, it might be time to consider alternative plans. You might decide to play a one-shot and see if everyone enjoyed the game, or have someone else GM the game, or switch to a new game system. But the bottom line is the same. No one should play a game they don't want to play. So, I would suggest listening carefully to your players and, if possible, make adjustments to accommodate the wants of everyone at the table. But don't make so many changes that you end up running a game you don't enjoy. Once the basic elements of your game have been decided, make sure to summarize them to the group so that everyone is on the same page. Most problems in role-playing games are the result of miscommunications, either among players or between players and game masters. By working to create a shared understanding about the game before it starts, Game Master can preemptively resolve many common conflicts that stems from miscommunication. There are many tools that can be used to support the process of getting everyone on the same page before a campaign. We like the Same Page tool, created by Christopher Chin. It provides a checklist of topics to go over with your players to make sure that you all have the same goals and expectations for the upcoming game. There is a link to the Same Page tools in this video description. Let's take a moment to reflect about how you could revise the pitch you created in Lesson 1. Which parts of the pitch are inflexible or so important to the game you want to run that they can't be changed? Now, try to imagine how you could change some of the other elements and still run an adventure you would enjoy. Maybe you could switch genre from mystery to horror or from drama to comedy. Maybe the setting could be changed from fantasy to sci-fi. Maybe the characters start off as criminals rather than victims. Can you imagine that? Of course, not all of your ideas will mesh well. But it is important to practice brainstorming and keeping your mind open to new ideas, even if they feel off at first. Practicing open-mindedness, and over time, creativity will help you to be a more flexible game master, so that you can co-create amazing stories and games with your players. Once you have had a chance to get everyone on the same page, you can start to plan your characters.